What's up, you guys? So it's Layla Lynn, and I'm back with a new video. And in this video, I want to talk about Tiffany Haddish. I feel like I got to talk about Tiffany Haddish because she is going viral for claiming that women with more than two baby daddies, quote, usually have some sort of mental illness. Now, this is via the Jasmine brand, but the podcast she did was actually the Godfrey podcast with the comedian Godfrey. She appeared on an episode of his podcast maybe like a month ago. She said this, but it's starting to go viral. Her claims about women with multiple baby daddies having mental illness. Meanwhile, she has had 8 failed pregnancies, 8 miscarriages. She's donated her eggs when she was younger. Her eggs were not used. So it sounds like motherhood and fertility is like a trigger for her. It sounds like that whole area is a trigger for her. And instead of continuing to be vulnerable about her fertility journey, she's choosing to shame other women. So we're going to get into that in this video. But first, if you're watching, if you're not familiar with me, I'm Layla Lynn. I do celebrity news and nostalgia, and I also cover the hot topics. So go ahead and subscribe, click the button so that you never miss a video, and click the thumbs up button and leave a comment. Do all the YouTube things to support this channel. And on June 30th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I have a live workshop coming up on feminine communication. If you deal with men and you want more out of your communication with men, make sure you sign up for my workshop. Watching this channel for a while. First of all, you know this is primarily a voiceover channel. I've built my entire social media empire on my voice, the way I talk to people and the way I talk about people. So I'm holding a live workshop on feminine communication, like how to talk to people, especially men. So this is the agenda. This is June 30th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The first thing we're going to talk about is how to talk to your man in public, the things you need to say to him in front of other people to get the energy you want from him. Number two, we're going to talk about how to talk to him behind closed doors, how to talk him through it behind closed doors, in the bedroom, or what have you. And last but not least, we're going to talk about how to stay in your feminine energy during conflict, which is like the biggest issue when it comes to feminine energy. A lot of times you're not in your feminine energy because you're in conflict. So we're going to talk about how to actually stay in your feminine energy during conflict. So make sure you register. This is not something that's going to be on YouTube. This is private. So register on my website. I'll leave a link below and in the comment section. Hey, yeah, so like I said, I like to give context whenever I'm doing my reporting. And so back in 2023, Tiffany Haddish revealed that she's experienced 8 miscarriages, but kept it private. But, in 2023, she finally decided to talk about it. And they say Tiffany Haddish is opening up about her experience with miscarriages. In a new wide spanning interview with the Washington Post, the comedian, who was 43 at the time, revealed that she recently experienced her eighth miscarriage. So it kind of sounds like it was over the span of several years that she had 8 miscarriages. And then she explained she has this medical condition where her uterus is shaped like a heart, and so it won't hold a pregnancy. And she said that she's kept most of her miscarriages private, noting that she doesn't want people saying, "Are you okay? Are you all right?" Like a wounded animal, I'd just rather go in a cave by myself and lick my wounds. So in the past, she didn't want people talking to her or about her regarding her continuing to lose pregnancies. But now in 2025, she wants to shame women who have had multiple pregnancies, multiple babies with multiple men. It just doesn't make sense to me. And then in 2021, 2 years before she revealed the struggle she was having with fertility, she revealed that she actually donated her eggs and they didn't get used. She was doing an interview about surrogacy and saying that she didn't want to do surrogacy. She said, quote, "I don't want to pay nobody to carry my baby neither, because then I have to go through a process of giving myself injections and all that stuff." And then she said, quote, "And I already gave up. Here goes something everybody don't know. I'm going to tell you, when I was 21 and I was really hard up for some money, I gave up a bunch of eggs. So who knows? I might got some kids out here in these streets. I doubt it though, because I never got the bonus." So the eggs she donated weren't used, and unfortunately, due to her medical condition, she wasn't able to carry her own pregnancies. And so that is the context for her shaming women with multiple baby daddies. So now we can get into what she said.
And I could be completely wrong, and the internet probably gonna destroy me for this, but I think women that have more than two baby daddies usually have some sort of mental illness.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you're getting genetically modified too much. I think, okay, so this is what I know. Every time you get pregnant, right, there's stem cells that come from that baby, and that's them stem cells end up behind your eyes and your brain and your heart and your lungs and stuff and help your organs heal while the baby taken from you.
So that would be 8 sets of stem cells that she would have in her body.
and those stem cells will always stay with you, right? So that means that man is always in you, and that is why the Bible says you will only desire your husband. Correct. This is why you gotta use condoms, because that baby better get up inside you, and the uterus is very porous, much like the mouth, right? So when anything goes up in there, it automatically the uterus starts to absorb it. It starts going through the vaginal walls and all that, and the blood, it gets into the bloodstream, right? And so it takes
get in.
So it takes like 6 weeks to get a man out of your system if you have unprotected sex. And it's because he's starting to bind to your DNA, right? And that's why.
And of course, the men are eating this up because this makes them sound like they are so powerful. They are so dominant. They genetically modify any woman they sleep with unprotected. So they are eating it up. Meanwhile, she's not even mentioning that she has been through this herself with the 8 pregnancies. She's not even mentioning that part.
Why it's couples, when they be together too long, they start looking alike. You start looking like him. Wow. Like, it's not, the guy don't start looking like her. She start looking like him because he is genetically modifying her. And every time you get pregnant by him, you start to get modified, right? So if you get pregnant by multiple peoples, right, that's multiple spirits, multiple thoughts, multiple modifications from a different DNA strand to have mental stress. So, and it's very evident, like what I'm saying is very evident. It makes sense.
Now, here comes, this is probably the stupidest part.
Because, like, you got all these dating apps, all these women, like, free sex, free this, whatever, you know, I'm doing money, I'm living it, I'm exerting my sexuality and all this, and I don't care if I got 5 kids or 5 baby daddies, whatever. Usually those bitches are mentally, they're struggling in so many different ways, not just financially, but also just like on where to focus, how to whatever, because you got too many different bloodlines in your blood.
So she's totally ignoring the man's responsibility. Like, it sounds like she's saying the women are raising these children alone, but she's not mentioning the man's responsibility. Like, maybe they're struggling financially, emotionally, because they're doing things alone when they should be doing things in partnership with the father. She doesn't mention that. She wants to say they're genetically modified. And I would guess that with the 8 pregnancies that she's lost, at the last one when she was age 43, I would guess that the pregnancies were by multiple men. And that is my guess. That is my assumption. So I feel like really she could be talking about herself. She really could be talking about herself and her own mental issues.
Kids. I mean,
you have mental illness. So that was my theory on sperm.
That's very, very.
And that's why that's why you have to use condoms, ladies. That's why you have to use condoms. We cannot genetically modify men, but also just.
So y'all leave a comment. Let me know what y'all think. Normally, I don't like to call people less than smart, as Wendy would say, but I feel like this girl is. I feel like she has completely lost it based on her interview. But y'all leave a comment, share your thoughts. As always, thanks for watching. Now, if you made it this far to the end of the video, then I think you like my content. So make sure you subscribe and check out my channel. I have over 1,000 videos on my channel. Check out my playlist and my podcast, and I assure you, you will like more of my content.